Hello again, loving humans. I'm back and I found my stipple sponge that I was talking about for cream blush options that we use in theater. I did find we would even use this little cream red that could be used as lipstick, and we'd use it on the cheeks. And I can't remember if we blended it with anything first. I almost think we just used so little that it was fine. Like it still had the cream base underneath, so we didn't need to dilute it, so to speak. So I don't have much in the way of cream blushes other than that one I used earlier that's very, very light, but I do have these lip options. And because they're, I'm just not into matte lip things, and I've only used these on the palette in case I, run into anybody else who would rather have them. And so this color is kind of more purple, like that one I was talking about. The ColourPop used to have the bloom that they may or may not bring back. This, I bet, would come out similar to the one earlier, but I think if mixed with this, it could then be a good blush option. And I'm thinking, haven't looked at the ingredients, but considering Bare Minerals, if they're more mineral based, I would think they would have less, I can't figure out what this line is there. I would think they would have less things in them that would be a problem for the cheeks. And even as a kid, I remember my mom would take her lipstick, put it on me, and then put it on the cheeks as well. I think sometimes even on the eyes, because it was like a very light, shimmery, peachy kind of color, pinky peach. And I remember that's one of the pieces of advice that's often been given in the makeup world for people who don't have much in the way of makeup yet, like how to utilize different things. I think they've even sold powders that could be used for the lips, cheeks, eyes, etc. And these days they talk about that in terms of a monochromatic look. So there are options. And in case one hasn't known, this eye look is one of the Natasha pastel looks that's similar to the one on YouTube, but it's her Instagram one that has the purple instead of the kind of orange underneath. So it's holding up pretty well. I don't know how many hours it's been, a few at least. And I think the eyelid primer only helped. I am getting some eye watering under here, so it's coming off, but I think it's not that noticeable. Anyway, so how about we start here? Liquid Suede lip stick on the palette. It's hard to know exactly how much to use, so I'm just putting 2 dips in, and then I haven't done this in a while. So I think we use this side. I mean, I suppose, actually, I'm gonna go with this side because I don't know, because I'm afraid it's gonna dry. No, I'm gonna go with the short side just because there's not that much. So I'm doing this, that spread it around a bit. Now I'm doing that. I can see that it's on here. Oh, it shows up so much more on the camera than even in real life. Like it's medium in real life, but bright on the camera. All right, let's see how this goes. I can't remember how we blended it in. So the idea is with this stipple sponge, it's making it the way your capillaries would be. Your capillaries under the skin that give you the blush color are tiny little vein type structures, and they're not just a smooth blended thing. So, I mean, this is showing up like crazy on camera. It is not that bright in real life. Now, what I might do is I could use this brush. Oh yeah, I have the stippling brush as well. I mean, it's so bright on camera. It almost looks silly. So that was 2 swipes. And I want to see, okay, what happens if I use that stippling brush from earlier to kind of fade this out. Oh my gosh, it looks so bright on camera. It is not that bright in real life, but I think if we put powder over it, it would tone it down, such as that pink powder that is kind of more of a shimmer. Okay, I don't know if the saturation is turned up or something, because the eyes look fairly accurate. In fact, the eyes look more, in my opinion, what I feel like they should look like. The cheeks, that is bright. I mean, on the one hand, it's good for stage, but it just feels like it's too, I don't know what the word is. So this brush is kind of working. What I can't tell, it may be taking off some foundation from underneath. I'm not sure. But the technique has worked is the point. And I think we could use the side as well. That's at least given more pink. I feel like this would be the first stage, certainly. And let us see. Oh, I could do the highlighter too. And this could be a good time to use that powder that was too dark from them. So let's start with this pinky blush that I feel like is more like a highlighter. I'm going to stay in the stippling brush and see what happens. This actually, this is probably setting it. Although I think that lipstick does set kind of like, I think it's meant to be kind of medium wear. Gosh, that is all right. I think the thing is, it's just coming off on camera somewhat strangely, like as if it's only in that spot. So I'm kind of just bringing things everywhere just so it doesn't feel like it's only there, because people have a pinky complexion that would be normal. It would just be more concentrated on the cheeks. Imagining Winter Wonderland. Another time I could even try this kind of lipstick. Again, I think some of it is the shine, but I think that helped a bit. The under eye is looking a bit more yellow now, I think from that concealer, perhaps, and possibly from that highlighter from earlier. But now I want to go into here and just already making a mess. Do a dusting. That was holding a lot more powder than I realized. I believe this is toning it down, but also almost making like a tan situation. Yeah, this is a lot more like stage makeup. But that has now brought it, kind of like neutralized it, if you will. Because there's something about this that had like a neon quality, and part of me liked it, but I think this is better. Like, this seems more in the realm of natural. So I feel like the red could work for that, mixed with this perhaps. And then this, since this has like a metallic aspect, I guess we could try that another time. The good thing is, in for the night, that's the time to experiment, especially if I haven't been outside to get pollen and who knows what contaminants around. This way, it's like I've still been inside. It's not contaminating this with anything I haven't already been exposed to. Plus, by using the palette, that helps with that as well. I feel like, they have this like eye gloss now, but I wonder if anybody ever puts this on the eye or cheek. I feel like somebody does, makes a cheek glossy. I forget who. It's not a common look though, and I don't think it's for typical streetwear. So now, what if I want to tone it down more with that kind of tan highlighter? I almost feel like that's kind of like a dirty look to it. But we're experimenting, we're playing. I think that middle one makes more sense. The other thing is, you could swipe the brush kind of in the middle, catching some of the light, some of the dark, making sure the light's on top. And then kind of place it almost like they used to sell blushes where you put almost like 3 colors on at once, and the darker one was on the bottom, kind of doing something in the realm of contour before contour was a thing. Now, I think you can see that highlight a bit. I'm trying to think of what kind of sprays do I have nearby. I would want to do, I could use this. This is that one from, it's not such a fan, but I've been using it to reconstitute some of the jelly shadows. And I've had this is 16-hour wear. I don't need 16-hour wear at this time. Maybe now's the time for like a rose water or just a refreshing spray. Rose water face mist. It does say makeup setting, but this was like not a setting spray as in it's going to lock it in. I think this is much more just to kind of take down the powder, and it's not nearly as fine of a mist, but rose. And I think it's more of like a toner too. And hydrating setting mist infused with rose water and witch hazel to keep makeup looking dewy and fresh. So I think it'd be interesting to find out, like, I feel like this is a face mist that is marketed for a little bit of makeup setting, whereas a setting spray, like the Make It Last, is prime, correct, and set. The Believe one is replenishing makeup setting spray that hydrates, preps, and sets skin for flawless makeup. I feel like there's something in most setting sprays that locks in your makeup for like being transfer proof and resistant. Whereas the rose water, I feel like it takes down the powder, it kind of hydrates, but I don't think it has the ingredient. No, that's just, I mean, that the face is now wet. And I did notice before I left, I felt like something about the cheeks now, they seem more plump to me in a way that I like. I don't know if it's partially the highlighter, the blush, but I feel like it was too much for a bit. And now with the powder on top, it looks just, well, part of me is like, does it look that much different than it started? But I would say, yeah, I feel like there is a good amount of highlighter there. And in person, you can certainly see texture, but tonight's a Zoom night. And I kind of like the way it is, like pink where you would naturally find it on the face. I did want to try, well, I could use highlighter or I could go in with this. Now that I'm mostly done for the day, this is the time to put this on and see, you know, how I really didn't do much. I was thinking it was going to be kind of like a shimmery highlight, but it really didn't do much. Okay. So we can go in with a highlight, huh? Back to Believe. I was also noticing the illusion in the Natasha Denona palette. I was looking at the ColourPop, one of the pastel purple ones, and they have like a white iridescent thing that seems very similar creaminess and effect. Okay, so now I've got the lightest highlighter under the brow bone, adding some shine. And I also looked at the Milani pastel palette, and I'm realizing a lot of these colors from today were there. I just don't know if they'll be vibrant enough. I don't know if I can make it look like that, but it'll be fun to try when I've gone through all the Natasha looks. And let's try some highlighter in the middle. That's fun, especially towards the inner corner. Kind of brightens it up a bit, gives a little bit more difference between the purple and kind of, I think there was a green and limoncello down here. I feel like the limoncello got lost as yellow and turned more blue. So I feel like between that and the bubble, this is giving it back some of the brightness. And while we're here, you can just pop this whole area to brighten that up. You know, a lot of people do just right here, but I tend to like to go all the way up here because it's an area that can get so dark for so many reasons. And while we're here, maybe into the second shade, going under here. I like this blending brush, at least for this. It's almost like between a highlighter brush, or I guess I shouldn't say between, it is a blending brush, but it could be used as a highlighter brush. I just feel like that freshens things a bit. I could also add something to the lips. They are matte, and I haven't added gloss. And I feel like the gloss is what makes everything lift and kind of come off more. I did want to try this on the palette in the middle and see what happens. Because I feel like I've expected it to be lightening things, and it didn't. Oh, I forgot. It smells like vanilla or chocolate or something. It's hard to figure out how to get it properly spread out. Now the darker color is more like a lip liner. It's definitely picks them up. What does that smell? Is it vanilla? I know they described it as something at some point. This is what it transferred off. It started as this color and kind of picked up the other color. It doesn't look that different, but it kind of is. So now I feel like this is almost the color of the cheeks. It's okay, but I would rather have some shine. So time to clean off, use rubbing alcohol again to get fingers free of oil and whatnot, and go back into the highlighter. But I actually kind of want to go into this first, see if I can add back in some pink. Do I want to use a brush? Sort of. Why can't I get this open? There we go. Could just use his finger. And the good thing about using the finger is it kind of reacquaints you with what is the texture of this. Ooh, that's nice. It's not even showing up on camera as much, but it's a very nice pink. But I can't use this finger now because it's got lipstick on it. And it's like you don't want to go too far over here because then you're getting it off of your finger. And you got to get some over here. Wiping it back off from the rubbing alcohol. It's probably a funny sound because it is live, so it's probably louder there. And then I'm going to do the pink color first. Oh, that looked light. And then in the middle. Shimmer achieved. I still don't think it's showing up all that much, but I feel like right now it's fairly locked in. It's like medium wear, but I feel like if I put the gloss on, it's just going to make it kind of go everywhere. Now, again, I'm thinking like, how is this showing up in the camera? I think it depends on the lighting. I like a lot of bright lighting. The lips, I feel like the powder kind of helps set it. You know, they used to teach using like a 1-ply tissue and putting setting powder over it. You know, it's kind of like the rest of your makeup. Creamy, setting it with powder. So I feel like the lips aren't showing up that much. Makes me want to go in again with a lip liner. See if that makes a difference. I can feel there's some lip gloss left on the lip liner from earlier. Okay. Not too much of a contrast. I think it's acceptable. On to Zoom, I think. The meeting is probably, yep, about to start. Now I'm wondering, like, have the lips thrown it off? I don't know. Could always add the gloss. Go for it. It's experiment time. End of the day, adding the gloss onto the palette. I could also use this one that's so similar, but I've already gotten the palette here. Shiny. Yeah, I like that better because I feel like the lips should be more glossy than the cheeks and whatnot. But now that that's on, and this is one that I don't do on the palette, I just do it. Let's put this over it. But because it's now picked up so much of the lipstick, I'm going to wipe that off before putting it back in so it's not adding in new colors. Glossy, glossy. But now that things are moving, well, that has the alcohol in it. But look how much came off. So that's this kind of stuff that would end up in your teeth. Some people do this with a clean hand. But if you have a tissue, I mean, because then you got to wash or do rubbing alcohol. But this is fun. I mean, I would go to the store like this. I don't know that I would go to the temple like this. Probably not the eyes. And with the lips, I would want the long wear. But let's try this again just to see like how much can it tolerate. I think that once it dries, it's refreshed, but it's not like it's degrading anything or making it. It's more like it never happened. I remember being on the Maid of the Mist in Niagara and getting quite drenched, and then once it was dry, things are back to normal. I mean, this face is drenched. I don't know if you can see this. this is fully a saturated face. And I feel like this is an experiment. I don't know if you can see it down here. Like this is pretty much sauna level. Now, I don't know if this is how some of the YouTubers do it to this level. And maybe that's why they have the fan. I've been looking for one of my like fans that's bigger than ones they use that are handheld, but can go on the desk. Well, or held. But anyway, I think one could say with this kind of spray, like with the witch hazel, especially and rose water. I mean, rose water is used in various countries as like a toner and refresher for the skin. And it's just a lovely experience. They even put rose water in food and water to drink and other beverages. So I feel like it can be hydrating, refreshing. And hopefully it won't react with makeup that, might be oily and want it to have it separate or anything. But I do feel like it kind of, even the ones that are not truly like sealing it, again, I'll have to compare ingredients. This has essential oils, rose, witch hazel, vitamin E, vitamin C. And I don't exactly know what the ingredients are in the other ones that kind of seal it, but I think there's something else. Like this one has alcohol, niacinamide, pentylene glycol, glycerin. Okay, so glycerin is probably something to do with it. Castor oil, fragrance, fruit, sodium. Well, I mean, some overlapping ingredients. Oh, this is made in Germany. I wonder if Almilani is. And I know some of them have aloe as well. I feel like that makes sense as to how it could be sealed. But yeah, I think it's almost like hairspray for the face. So I feel like the highlight now, I actually think it's showing less texture. And to me, it feels more like it's in my skin, on my skin, one with the skin. And kind of glowy in a way I like. Like matte has become so popular. And the good thing about matte is it can last longer. But there's something to be said about dewiness. And if you don't have dewiness from oil, then dewiness from highlighter and just like earlier today, I was on a Zoom with just face oil on, and I was surprised it kind of looked neat, even though it wasn't foundation or anything. So I think you have options. And a lot of these sprays are good to just refresh. Like it can make you feel good. Some of them have caffeine in it. I don't know what that exactly does to the skin. But you just have so many options, and it's fun to play. It's fun to learn. And some people don't want to, they just want to find a routine, stick to it, have it be quick and get in and out of the house. Well, get out of the house quickly and just have the same thing every day. But the thing about experimenting is you find out what you like, and then you can make that part of your permanent routine. So it's been fun to play and to bring back out the stipple sponge. I cannot believe how bright this is. Let's see if it's dried on here. Yeah, nothing's coming off. Well, okay, a tiny bit's coming off. But like when I was just bouncing it, nothing came off. I had to like really press it. And I think that's another thing we did. At some point, I think we did do deeper presses, so to speak. And as far as how the palette looks, I think you can probably hear the washing machine going. It's all scraped up here from doing this. So with that, just like the wash, may the clothes be clean, may our hearts be clean, our minds be clean, our spirits be clean. And with that clean slate, may we fill ourselves with love of heaven and let God's love pour down to us. May we go in peace, safety, health, and love and kindness and joy. So until next time, thank you for watching, and peace be with you.